Hello everyone, and welcome to the continuation of Sonic Advance 3. And here we are in Zone 5, Twinkle Snow, and we're going to be playing as Amy Rose throughout the entirety of this zone. First off, we're going to be showcasing Amy when teamed up with Sonic. She plays just like she does in Advance 2, but better. I think this is actually pretty obvious. It makes sense that Amy would play like Sonic when she's teamed up with him. She has a new ability that she didn't have in Advance 2. She has the ability to air dash, and when you see the air dash, it might not look useful, but in actuality, it has its uses. It's actually pretty good to use because it slows you down in the air. I mean, that doesn't sound very good, but it does slow you down, but like I said, it's got its uses. You just have to know how to use it, and, you know. But like I said, she has all of her moves from Advance 2. For those who didn't know, you could unlock Amy from Advance 2, but I wouldn't really necessarily recommend going through all the trouble just to unlock Amy in that game, because I don't even like playing as her that much in Advance 2. But basically she plays just like she did in Advance 2 when she's partnered with Sonic. But that's really all I'm gonna say about that. Whoa, what just happened right there? That wasn't supposed to happen. That was weird. I'm not sure if that was the emulator that I'm playing this game on, or if it was the game itself that did that to me. One thing that I'm glad that returned from Advance 1 that was omitted from Advance 2 was the hammer spring jump. Basically, what I'm trying to... if you don't know what I'm talking about, in Advance 1, when you're playing as Amy, if you hit a spring with a hammer, the spring will launch you into the air higher than the spring normally would. You couldn't do that in Advance 2 when you played as Amy. Like when you hit the spring with a hammer, or when you attempt to do that, the hammer just goes right through it as if nothing happened. But that has returned in Advance 3, and I freaking love it. So now we are playing as Amy in her, as if we were playing as her in Advance 1. When partnered with Tails, Amy plays like she does in Advance 1, but better. When you press the jump button after jumping, she can bring out balloons, a couple of balloons, and float slowly, but you have hardly any horizontal movement. But she has like this long jump that she could do in Advance 1. But she also has the spinning hammer attack in the air. I just hit the spring with my hammer just now. So when you jump, if you're partnered with any character other than Sonic when playing as Amy, Amy will just perform her regular jump because she doesn't normally do a spin jump. She just does it when partnered with Sonic. But when partnered with Tails, when you press the jump button and press the attack button in the air, Amy will perform a spinning hammer attack, but it will actually launch her in the air just a little bit. Whoa! Yeah. That's the power of Amy's hammer right there. What you just saw. shortcut. I used to hate this particular act in Twinkle Snow. I could never get past this. This was my first experience with underwater levels in a Sonic game, because this was the first Sonic game that I ever owned. This was before I played any classic Sonic game. This was before I played Labyrinth Zone. Before I hated that level. But as a kid, I never knew that there were bubble patches sitting around in the water, and you had to wait for big bubbles to come out of those patches, and you had to suck up the air from them. I thought it was just completely impossible to just beat the level while in the water. That's just what I thought as a child. No, I wasn't very smart when it came to video games. I was smart for my age, but meh. Always quick to jump into things, though, because I was impatient, which was whoa, that was a big, gigantic hammer. My shortcomings usually came from my impatience as a child. So, now we are partnered with Knuckles as Amy, and she plays like she does when teamed up with as if you were teamed up with Tails, except that when you perform the spinning hammer jump in the air, it won't count as a double jump. It would just be as if you're falling down. But when you crouch and press the jump button, instead of doing a long jump, she will do like this super peel-out-esque type of move. She won't do a spin dash, but it kind of reminds a lot of players of the super peel-out. It reminds me of the super peel-out. And although it doesn't really give you that much speed, more like it increases your acceleration. Oh, and you can still do this when teamed up with Knuckles. So also, she brings out this big freaking hammer that has input lag. Well, not input lag, but there's lag in between trying to bring down the freaking hammer just to attack a Badnik. Also, when you crouch down and press the B button, Amy will perform this spin-like jump. She could do that in Advance 1, but it will send her in a more diagonal direction. It will send her a forward diagonal. So, here's Amy in Special Stage 5. Again, I got through this one pretty easily, but not to brag or anything. I mean, it's a learning experience. Once you get to know what the game throws at you, you get used to it. Unless you don't, and then it eventually becomes easy. Whoa, Amy, we don't want to see that. Come on now. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What more to say? Yeah, I really love playing as Amy in this game. Like I said, I don't think Amy will ever be this good again after Advance 3, because Advance 3 came out after Heroes did. Like, a couple of months or a few months after Heroes. And I mean, this is Amy at her best, other than Heroes. I mean, she has all these unique possibilities and brings out all these that's one of the things that make Advance 3 so great, in my opinion. There are a lot of tag team. There are a lot of possible team combinations, like 20 different team combinations, and there are just a lot of great ones, in my opinion. I mean, they're not all perfect. Some are more mediocre than good. I will admit that. But in my opinion, this game is just great overall, and I absolutely love it. And I think that's just what makes this game. That's just one of the things that make this game better than Advance 1 or Advance 2, or the games before it. I mean, everyone has their favorites. Advance 2 used to be my favorite of the trilogy, and then as I grew up, I started to appreciate Advance 3 a lot more than I did as a kid. And now this is my favorite in the trilogy, just for a lot of different reasons. I mean, it combines a lot of elements. Well, I'll get back to that later on. Now it's time for the next boss that I forgot the name of. This is the Egg Chaser. This is an auto-scrolling type of elevator type of boss, where you have to jump off of platforms and knock the platforms on Eggman's canopy. And later, as the boss continues, Eggman will get faster, and he will shoot his ball and chain at a quicker rate. And if you know how to fight the boss, you can get past it very easily. And by the way, keep in mind that the platforms do not go down immediately after you jump on them. You can stay on the platform as long as you want before Eggman has time to attack you while you're on the platform. But when you do jump off the platform, that's when it will fall. So it's just a matter of timing and a matter of, I don't know. But yeah, it's a pretty challenging boss, but I used to hate this boss a lot, like with a passion as a child. But eventually you'll get used to how the boss is, and once you learn how the boss works, you could beat it in less than a minute. But that's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again in part 6. See you then.